Ideas of how to maintain your motivation. I was at an event last night. It was a beautiful friend of mine, Shane Hatton. He's just written a brand new book called Let's Talk Culture, definitely worth checking out. And I was at his book launch event last night. And I met so many incredible people, and so many of them were acknowledging that they'd read my book, whether it be It's Who You Know or Be Brilliant. And the question that I kept getting asked is, how do you write a book? How do you keep going? By the way, if you're listening to this live, make sure to say hi and let me know who's here. And if you're listening to this on replay, just put replay. So I was at this event last night, and first live event for a while, which was awesome. In fact, I had a whole day of live stuff yesterday, so I was exhausted by the end of the day. But I was meeting people that I'd never met before, many of them that I'd connected with online. And so many acknowledge that they've got a copy of one of my books or both of my books. It's Who You Know, Be Brilliant, From Me to We. And the question that I kept getting asked was, how did you write that book? How did you keep going? Can you share how you did it? And it got me thinking about this concept of motivation, of how do you maintain motivation? Because here's the thing, it is the motivation that enables you to get the job done. But it's more than just the initial spark of motivation. It's that sustained motivation over time that enables you to push past those moments where you feel like everything's lost, those moments where things aren't going to plan, those moments where you just feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall. It's the sustained motivation that gets you there. And so it got me thinking about these three ideas that I'm about to share with you. Whilst I'm on this, there's an amazing book by a guy called Brendon Burchard. He wrote a great book called The Motivation Manifesto. And in that book, he talks about the fact that the first spark of motivation happens when you have an ambition and you combine it with an expectancy. He suggests in this book that the ambition with an expectancy that you can do it is the very thing that sparks that initial motivation. But without this third thing, there's a risk of that motivation waning. There's a risk of you giving in to temptation, you giving in to a lack of focus, you giving in to saying yes to stuff, to the very things that aren't going to enable you to get closer to what it is that you're trying to do. Without this third thing, that's where the books don't get finished, the blogs don't get written, the social media doesn't get posted, the lead generation doesn't happen. And he suggests that the missing piece is attention. It's your attention to the ambition and your expectancy that dictates your effort and that fuels the momentum to generate sustained motivation. So definitely worth a read. But what I want to share with you quickly today are three ideas that I've got of how to sustain your motivation. First thing is, when things don't happen, because they don't, right? Rubbish happens, life gets in the way, that post that you put out doesn't get the response that you want, that lead magnet that you created doesn't get the results that you want, that webinar that you spent ages putting a marketing campaign behind suddenly doesn't get the cut through or the registrations, that program that you launched, you don't get the people. What happens is we give up if we're not careful. And the first thing I want you to think about is the first tip, the first idea is the difference between giving up and the difference between maintaining motivation is your ability to get back up again. That ability to get back up, to give yourself the confidence talk, to give yourself the G up, to actually, instead of looking at the fall over as a piece of failure or the fact that you're rubbish or you can't do it, instead of that, to actually take a big deep breath, to look at what you can learn from it and to get back up. You know, that old saying is get back on the bike. It's that whole thing, right? Get back up. Don't let the things that don't go right, the failures, keep you down. And the difference between those that give up and those that actually achieve is their ability to get back up. So that's idea number one. Idea number two is talent actually is no longer enough. Talent is no longer enough. The difference between the sustained motivation and those that give up. It's those that understand that talent isn't enough, but it's actually the work that you put in, the hard work that you put in, or the awesome work that you put in. I often talk to my clients about just do the work, just do the work, just do the work, and consistently do the work. I've got some really great friends that work in the field of professional sports, and they've often shared with me that often it's not the best player, it's not the most talented player that achieves the rewards. It's the person that turns up half an hour before everyone else, or the person that stays behind half an hour later. It's the person that says yes to doing the study, to doing the nutrition, to doing the recuperation, to listening to the experts, because it's that person that understands that it's not just talent. Talent is no longer enough. It's the hard work combined with it, that commitment to crafting your talent, to becoming an expert, that keeps you going. So, second thing is, remember, talent is not enough. It's the hard work that makes that talent start to have the impact. Don't give up. So much like me when I'm writing my book, it's that commitment to doing 500 words a day, 500 words a day, 500 words a day, 500 words a day. That's the difference between getting that 60,000 word manuscript finished and not ending up with a manuscript. So talent is no longer enough. The third thing I want you to think about, and this is something I had to really learn to do myself, is focus on the reward. Focus on why you're doing it. In my inner circle community, this is one thing we do. We often each quarter go, so what is the reward this quarter? And whether it be time off, whether it be a financial reward, whether it be a materialistic reward, whether it be an experience, whether it actually be one step closer to your bigger why, your bigger contribution piece, the thing that will get you out of the funk, the thing that will maintain your motivation is to focus on that reward. Why are you doing what it is that you're doing? Put things into perspective because it helps you overcome the funk. So, 3 ideas to maintain your motivation. I'll quickly wrap it up. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which one of these are you going to work on? And I'd also be curious about what else you do to maintain your motivation. So for me, the 3 key things are a commitment to get back up. Life isn't unicorns and rainbows. Things don't always go right. Mistakes happen. Stuff doesn't get implemented as quickly as you want it to. You don't get those financial results as quickly as you want to. You either give into it or you review it, you get perspective, you learn from it, and you get back up and keep going. The difference between those that achieve and those that don't are the ones that every single day are focusing on getting back up. Second thing to know is that talent is no longer enough. It's the hard work with the talent that ensures that you start getting noticed and recognized for your craft and your mastery. So use that as the motivation to keep going, to keep learning, to keep developing, to keep doing the work, to keep pushing through, because that will maintain your motivation. And the third thing is focus on the reward. Why are you doing what you are doing? What is it all about? Focus on the reward, focus on taking that next step forward and how that gets closer to your reward than what it is that you're not doing or not delivering. So those are my 3 ideas, 3 ways to maintain your motivation. Love to hear your feedback. Until next time, Janine Garner here. If you want more information, jump on over to my Facebook group, the Elevate Networking Lounge. There's a whole heap of resources in there. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.